Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, and on today's video we're going to go through my suggestions for you to give someone a gift this holiday season. So this list is going to be unisex first and foremost. I just want you to know that, so both men and women can both appreciate this actual list of fragrances that I'm going to give you. And they're also a little bit more private. They're a little bit more higher end on the price point. I did search for some of these to be cheaper elsewhere, but just take into consideration that not all of them are going to have discounts available. So let's get into the list, starting off with fresh scents. So on the freshy side of things, so fresher fragrances that I decided to pick out would be fragrances that are going to be both versatile and likable. And I thought of a few of them. I have three here for you today. The first one is Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton. Now, this fragrance is, I think it's overdone at this point, really, but it's still a fragrance that is likable, it's wearable, it's versatile, it's both feminine and masculine. It does lend itself to both formal and casual events and settings, so that's what I like about this fragrance. It's very easygoing. Now, where Louis Vuitton does not shine, unfortunately, and I will let you know this ahead of time, is the longevity and projection of the fragrance. Now, it's not bad by any means, but for the price point that you're going to pay for this fragrance, it's a little poor. Now, the fragrance does retail for 330 US dollars for 100 mils. And they also do offer a 200 ml size option, which is going to be the bigger one, and that is going to retail for 465 US dollars. So it's a very expensive fragrance. Yes, you can find third-party sellers. Be careful with that because there are fakes out there on the market. Obviously, with a brand like Louis Vuitton, that's going to happen. And you can also sometimes catch them at sites like Joma Shop. So that is a good thing about them, but just be careful if you do see it cheaper elsewhere. Do your research, make sure that the bottle is legit and authentic so you don't get scammed. Now, the next one I picked is by the brand of Celine. I know, two brands that are LVMH. But Celine, for me, is a brand that I absolutely love and adore. And I have talked about Parade in many, many different videos. It's one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I think it's actually, I may go as far to say it's my favorite fresher fragrance out of anything I've ever owned. But I decided to go for a different one here. And the one that I'm suggesting to you as a gift for someone would be Reptile. Now, this is a forgotten fragrance, often overlooked, and people usually don't pick it up, but it's a fresher fragrance with woody elements as well. It's not going to be an overly fresh fragrance that's going to be generic. It's going to be a fresh fragrance that is going to have woody undertones. It's going to have a really great base. It's sophisticated, it's sexy, it's elegant, it's casual, it's formal, and it's both masculine and feminine, which is a very hard thing to find in fragrance. And I think this is the ideal unisex fragrance for anyone. And the last one I have on the freshy list is going to be by Prada. Now, this is going to be part of the Olfactories collection. Prada's Double Dare. Now, this, it might not be discontinued, but I did do quite a bit of research to try to find this fragrance, and it's nowhere to be found on Prada Beauty's website. But I did find that Fragrance Net has it for sale for $167, somewhere around there, give or take. I will link it if I can find it. Really great deal for this fragrance. Absolutely a marvelous scent. I really like it. If you like the Prada type of aesthetic when it comes to that soapy, clean, airy type of fragrance, you're going to love this fragrance. It's also going to have some really nice suede and saffron elements that really create a sophisticated scent, but it's still clean, it's still Prada, it's still timeless, it's still classic, but it's very unisex, very formal, and again, very casual. So it lends itself to any scenario, really, and I really do think you would be very happy. Actually, this is probably my favorite one out of the entire factory collection, and that's saying a lot. Now, I do have an add-on here for the freshies. I forgot about it completely, but it's the Acqua di Parma Colonia collection. So my favorite ones are going to be the original Colonia, Colonia Pura, and Colonia Intensa. These fragrances can be found fairly affordably on Fragrance Net, FragranceBuy.ca, Fragrance X, Joma Shop, and it's that you can't go wrong with this scent. Now, the only reason I didn't really give it a feature in this list is due to the fact that they will lean a little bit more masculine because they have that traditional cologne type of feel, which we all associate with masculinity. So that's the only reason I am not, featuring it heavily in this video. But all of these are fantastic fragrances. All of them are available, like I said, very cheaply. So if you're looking for a gift, you just don't know what to get someone, and your budget's anywhere from under $65, $70, and you can get one of these at a really great discount. And anyone who gets these will love them because they're high quality. They are really great fragrances. Now let's get into woody fragrances. Now, I love the woody category, but it's very hard for me to pick my favorites when it comes to woody fragrances. I think this is what I tend to lean in more, and it's just my favorite category for fragrances overall. I love ouds, I love sandalwoods, I love cedar woods, even though they're overly done. It's very difficult for me to pinpoint which one is the best for me, but the first one I have on this list is by Christian Dior, and it is Santal Noir. Now, be careful with this one. I know that you can find it on sites like eBay. I'm sure you can find it on like Macari and stuff. Now, the only thing is they're going to have an upcharge because everyone thinks that this fragrance is discontinued, and it's actually not. It's just only available at boutiques. So you can call Dior boutiques. You can also call, like, for example, Bergdorf Goodman here in the US, which is a department store in New York City, and they will ship it to you at no cost, and you do get an authentic bottle with some gifts from Dior, which is a really great deal if you ask me. But this fragrance is deep, it is romantic, it is a sandalwood fragrance with a floral warmth. It's just delicate and sophisticated, but in the highest estate. If haute couture was a fragrance or a smell, this would be the picture perfect scent. So Santal Noir by Christian Dior. The next one I have is from Chanel, and yes, it's very difficult for me to bring up Chanel because Chanel's a little crazy when it comes to the price point. I really don't believe in exploiting your customers, but I have to give them credit. They make great fragrances. And the next one I would suggest for you to check out is 1932. Now, this fragrance was created to commemorate the jewelry collection that was introduced in 1932, the high jewelry collection that Coco Chanel designed herself. And this scent itself is marvelous. Now, they have a new one called Comet, and Comet was supposed to kind of be inspired by the Comet necklace in that collection itself. But to me, 1932 does it better. It's sophisticated, it's refined, it's elegant, it's high class, it's sexy, but it's also very subdued, which is a hard thing, a hard balance to find in a fragrance. And I think that if you get this fragrance for absolutely anyone, they're going to be very, very happy. Now, Chanel fragrances do lean typically for most people feminine, so just keep that in mind. The private collection, Les Exclusives by Chanel, typically most people think it leans feminine, but that is up to you to decide. The next one I have is by the House of Burberry, and Burberry has a private line. It's called the Bespoke Collection or the Signature Range, depends on what region you're purchasing it. If you're buying it in England or in the UK, it's going to be called the Bespoke Collection. If you buy it here in the US, it's called the Signature Collection. Now, the one I'm picking out is Amber Heath, and that is because Francis Kurkdjian is the actual perfumer for this fragrance. He did a fantastic job with this fragrance. It's very nice. It's a saffrony fragrance with some woody elements. It's very warm, but at the same time, it's also earthy, very, very beautiful. If you have ever smelled Grande Soirée, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, then you're going to like this fragrance because they're kind of the same, really. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to this perfumer. I know I come a little hard on him, but in my opinion, this fragrance really does resemble that one. And I think that the Burberry version actually has better quality when it comes to the longevity, the performance, and overall the oil concentration in the actual fragrance is a lot better. I also love the packaging. I think it's very nice, it's very cute, it's very Burberry, it's very classic British, and that is worth something to me, at least, because I am a packaging fanatic. Now my last category, because I'm not going to do florals, just not. But I do have gourmand fragrances. If you don't know what a gourmand fragrance is, it's typically scents that we associate with being edible. So like honey, plums, berries, things of that sort. And my first pick here is going to be Dior, which is going to be Toba-Color. This is part of the La Collection Privée. Toba-Color is a lovely scent. Yes, I'm picking out another Dior fragrance in this entire video, but Toba-Color is one of my favorites because it's a plum fragrance at heart. Now, we don't really see plum fragrances become popular anymore. And that's because of obviously we're also used to these light, airy fragrances. We have changed, obviously, as time has progressed to like these airy scents more than we do like fragrances with depth. But this fragrance does have depth. It is sexy. It is refined. It has that sweet honey as well with that tobacco. Just an overall masterpiece. As the fragrance does dry down, you kind of lose these sweeter elements and you kind of get that soft waft of that tobacco with that honey. And it's just a lovely scent overall. Great performance, great longevity. I think this fragrance is highly potent and highly concentrated. A few drops will last you almost all day. And that's what I love about it. You know, we are paying quite a bit of money for these fragrances, and this one itself is going to be worth every penny because it does last. You can tell the oil concentration is there. Next one I have is by Bond Number 9, and this is going to be Tribeca. Now, Tribeca is a lovely scent. I absolutely adore it. It does that sandalwood the way that Bond Number 9 does it. If you have ever smelt a Bond Number 9 sandalwood, then you will know what I'm talking about. It is extremely expensive. You just smell like money. You smell like the old money aesthetic. And it's just not quiet. That's what's really nice about this fragrance. It's sexy, it's luxurious, and you just know it. I think anyone that smells it knows it's expensive just by smelling the fragrance itself. Now, the really cool thing about Tribeca is that it has nice elements that make it warmer, that make it edible, that make it gourmand, like the note of cocoa or chocolate, which really creates a warmth in this fragrance overall. It's expensive, it's luxurious, it's just a really great gift to give. Now, this one I was able to find discounted on discounters. It looks like Joma Shop has it for $208, and that's for a 100 ml size bottle. I believe these retail for $400 plus, so that is a great steal. It's still expensive, but it's a really great price to get it at a discounter like Joma Shop, which is legit. It is credible. I just wanted to let you know that. And my last one on this list, which is going to be the last gourmand, is going to be by Armani. Now, this is Armani Privé, which is the private line of Giorgio Armani. And I really do love this fragrance. I don't think it's talked about nearly enough. And I kind of got reminded by one of you watching my review for this fragrance as to how great the fragrance actually is. And it is Bleu Lazuli by Armani Privé. Now, this fragrance is a warm hug in the winter season. It's just super sweet, super warm. It does have honey, it does have plum notes, just like Toba Color, but it does it in a very different type of way. This one has a little bit more emotion than Toba Color, if you ask me, in my personal opinion. I do like it. The vanilla in this fragrance is absolutely phenomenal, and the longevity and performance of this fragrance are top notch. It is expensive at $340 for 100 mils, but this fragrance is phenomenal. I think that if you gift this fragrance to anyone, they will be very, very happy, especially if they like gourmand fragrances, because this is going to be a very luxurious gourmand fragrance. Really, all the ones that I picked are, but let me know down in the comments what your opinion is on the fragrances that I picked for you. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you agree with this list? Do you not? Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, you guys, and subscribe for more fragrance related content. I love you. I hope to see you on the next video. Until then, take care.